Here you go. It's going. All right.
You're filming her.
Sydney, over here. All right, so Samantha, today we're going to talk and focus on about how to solve a two-step, multi-step problem or equation. So we're going to go through some basic facts, okay? So the first thing I need you to do is I need you to stand up. Stand up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay? And you can put your paper down. Thank you for being ready, okay? But I want you to hold up your left hand, and I want you to pretend that there's an imaginary X in there. Do you see the X? Do you see it right here? Okay. Now, I want you to hold up your other hand. I want you to pretend there's a magic number of a 2 in there, all right? Now I want you to clap them together and clap, all right? And I want you to say the word coefficient.
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 When I put a letter together, let's bring it back apart. Go ahead. When I put a letter
When I put a letter
and a number together,
it
makes a
makes a
coefficient. Clap them together.
coefficient.
All right. Okay. So have a seat. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the magic of algebra in here. Now, a lot of times you may find that there are lots of different letters. For example, Samantha, how many letters are there in the alphabet?
26.
Great. All right. But you'll find that there's lots of different things. Well, let's look at this word. All right. In your notes, we're going to write the word variable. V-A-R-I-A-B-L-E. And a lot of times in algebra, which is a fancy way of kind of solving math problems, we represent it with the letter X. But how many letters did you say, Samantha, are in the English alphabet?
26.
Yes, so you actually can use any letter to represent for something. For example, if you wanted to figure out how many dresses you wanted to buy, you could represent it with the letter D. If you wanted to see how many tickets you could buy to go to the movie, you could represent it with the letter T. Now, here's the most fascinating thing. You have no idea whatsoever what this letter or this, what is this word again? Let's say it together. Variable. One more time. Variable is going to represent. So the letter represents a number, but we don't know what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on solving our equations today to solve for that unknown variable. Let's say that one more time again. Let's say it together. Variable. Can you say that for me?
Variable.
Okay. Let's take a look up here at our anchor chart. If Miss Sydney would record my anchor chart up here. Samantha, will you come up and touch the anchor chart for me? All right. So if you will get my magic pointer stick that I have. Oh, you've already got a pencil. Great. All right. Up at the top, I'd like you to put your pointer stick at where it says inverse. Can you say that together with me? Inverse. And now I want you to turn around the other way and say, it means the opposite.
It means the opposite.
Say it again. Inverse.
Inverse.
Turn. It means the opposite.
It means the opposite.
And one more time. Inverse.
Inverse.
Turn. It means the opposite.
It means the opposite.
Great. All right. So let's take your pointer stick and let's point to the word addition. Put it right there at addition. So if I'm going to give you $5, what would be the opposite or inverse of me giving you $5?
Subtract.
Great. Can you point to that on the chart for me? Perfect. All right. And then what if you owed me $5? What would be the opposite or inverse of that?
Addition?
Yes. All right. Videographer, you're not helping us. Thank you. Hi. We're recording. Okay. Samantha, now let's look at this one. If inverse, it means the what?
Opposite.
All right. Let's put our pointer stick here. What is that word?
Multiply.
All right. So multiply is just a fancy, quick way to add things. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So what would be the opposite or inverse of multiply?
Divide.
Yeah, let's record that way. Yes, very good. And then if we're not going to divide the cake up, what would be the opposite of what we're going to do or the inverse?
Multiply.
Yes, very good. Okay. So now let's take a look at a quick example here. I have, and I'm going to use X. And why do we use X again in algebra? It's just the common what? The common, what is X? We have 26 of them.
Letters.
Yes, all right. We have 26 letters. We just happen to use X as our algebra, our little letter we like to use. So this represents what? Put your hands up and go. X represents What? That's exactly what algebra is all about. So in this case, some unknown number plus 5 means you'll have $10 to pay your piano teacher. Yes, Samantha, what are you thinking?
5.
5. How did you know that, Samantha?
Because I know 10 minus 5 is 5.
That's awesome, because you know that the inverse of adding 5 is to subtract 5, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's take a look at that. If you were going to solve it another way, and this is where it gets a little tricky. Some people can't figure out how to do it when you add another step to this. So in this case, here's we need to follow some easy rules. When you're in algebra, you need to solve for the letter. The letter in algebra represents what, Samantha? The what? Say the unknown.
Unknown.
Right, exactly. So the first step you always have to do is you need to isolate the variable. Taking a look at this equation, Samantha, what variable is this? Where's the variable? Can you come point to it for me? Tell me, where's the letter? Where's the variable? Can our videographer please note that the student touched the variable? Thank you. All right. Now, from here, this is how we would solve it, all right? I make a little line. I'm going to call it like the river or the bridge. And here's the thing. What are we trying to isolate and get by itself?
The 30.
Now, let's come back to that. In algebra, what do we need to solve for?
This.
Very good. The unknown or the variable.
Variable.
What does the variable represent?
The part that's
Unknown.
unknown.
Right. It could be tickets. It could be dresses. Here's how you solve for that. Come back over to the anchor chart and point to that top word. What does inverse operations mean to do, Samantha?
It means the opposite.
Yes, very good.
operation.
Give me an example. What do you mean by opposite?
The opposite of addition would be subtracting something.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. So let's take a look back here at our two-step equation then, okay? Let's look at this. 2 times some unknown number, videographer, if you could do this. 2 times some unknown number, because look, X is in one hand, 2 is in the other. What did that make it together? What was that word we said? Yeah, let me help you out because that was a new word today. So on our word wall, we're going to learn the word coefficient. Right. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Perfect Student, for letting me know I should add the word variable.
Give me the marker.
Okay, fine. And then Samantha will keep writing stuff. Are you recording? Thank you.
The same
Is the same
as
as?
the unknown
Right, that's what we solved for in algebra. Thank you.
part.
Thank you, Samantha. All right, so now let's take a look at this. To solve for the variable by itself, the first thing you must do is you must get and undo the equations. For example, hold that thought. Thank you. I can see it. What's your thought? Just go ahead and tell me.
It's 6.
Okay, I didn't ask you to solve it. I said, actually, it's not. No.
Yes, it is.
No, come back to me. Roll back, roll back. Okay, what's the opposite or the inverse? Sydney, are you recording the formula? Thank you. What's the opposite of adding 5, Samantha?
Subtracting.
Okay, now here's the golden rule of algebra. What you do on one side, you must do on the other. So, I'll tell you the golden rule of algebra.
The golden rule of
Can you
algebra.
record, Samantha? The golden rule of algebra
The golden rule of algebra
is what you do on one side,
is what you do on one side.
you must do unto the other.
You must do unto the other.
Yes, so if I subtract 5 on one side,
So if I subtract 5 on one
I
side,
shall subtract 5 on the other.
I subtract 5 on the other.
All right, now, so can you help me out here?
See? Yeah.
What is 30 minus 5, Samantha?
30 minus 5 is 25.
Very good, thank you. Excellent math skills. Now, here's the funny thing about this. If I owed you $5 and I took away $5, what is that?
Huh?
What is plus 5 minus 5? Does that leave you?
Plus 5 minus 5. That is 5.
Now, let's talk about that again.
Yes.
If you have 5 and you take away 5, what are you left with?
Wait, you have. Oh, I thought you said plus 5.
Right, I have a positive 5. Sydney, back up slightly, okay? If you have 5 right here,
Mm-hmm.
if you have 5 right here, Okay, and you subtract 5. What do you get?
0.
Very good. Okay, so that cancels out. And now, do you see how I have to bring down the 2x? Tell me again that new word that we learned for the variable and the number together. Yes, very good. What word is that?
Coefficient.
Very good. Okay, so now we have a new equation. Let's take a look. 2 times some unknown number equals 25. Now, what did I say that we do here? What do we need to get by itself? What do we need to get by itself? Take a look at your word wall. Yes, what word is that? Very good.
Variable.
In this case, what is our unknown? What letter?
X.
Good, perfect. All right, so now here's the thing. We still need to undo, or we need to do the opposite or inverse here. So when you take a number and a variable together and you multiply it, what would be the opposite or inverse operation?
Of what?
Okay, let's look at it again. If you take a number and you take a variable, remember we clapped it and put it together and multiplied
Yes.
it? What would be the undo or the inverse operation?
Divide.
How do you know that?
Because multiply is adding and divide is subtracting.
Great, okay. So what we're gonna do here then is, what is the golden rule of algebra? What you
What you do on one side,
You
you
must
do on the other.
very good. So if I'm gonna divide on one side, what do I need to do to the other?
Do division on the other.
Yes, very good. Okay, what would be 2 divided by 2?
2 divided by 2.
If I had 2 dogs and I divided it by 2 of you, how many dogs would you each get?
1.
Very good. So that's going to cancel out, and that's technically going to be 1x. So there you've got your variable by itself. Now, this is an odd one, technically. What is 25 divided by 2? I should have picked one that worked out evenly for you.
No.
Yeah, it's going to be a fraction. Yeah.
12 and 13.
Yes, kind of. Yes, if you worked it out. Let's take a look at the math. 2 goes into 2 one time, right? Bring down the 5. 2 goes into 5 2 times. So from there, there's the 4. There's the 1. Point remainder 1. Or more into the fractions here. 2.5. So 12.5. Next time we should come up with an example that works out evenly. All right, Samantha, review for me quickly some of our major terms we've talked to today. A coefficient is a what though?
2 times
Okay. Show me the hand motion again. You have an X in one hand.
X in one hand,
And
and you have a
2 in the other.
a 2 in the other.
You multiply
and you put
them.
it together,
Uh-huh.
and that's called coefficient.
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 Great. Okay. Tell me what other things we've discussed today.
Variable is the unknown part.
And it's represented by what letter in algebra?
X.
But what letter could it be?
Any letter.
Correct. Okay. Keep going. What else?
That the golden rule is what's on one side must be on the other.
Okay. Can you show me the golden rule with the hand motions?
What's on one side must be on the other.
So if I add 5 on one side, I must what?
Subtract 5 on the other.
Okay.
And add 5.
Okay, so let's review that. Yeah, if you add 5 on one side, you must add it to the other. If you
Yes.
subtract 5, you must do it to the other.
Yes.
And when you're solving in algebra, what are we solving for again?
The unknown.
Which is represented by what letter?
X.
And how do we get x for the variable by itself? We use what kind of operations?
Inverse operation.
Which, show me again, what is inverse? Inverse means,
The opposite.
yeah, can you show me the motion? Inverse means
Inverse means the opposite.
Inverse means the what?
Opposite.
Okay. And what math operations? How do we know the opposite?
Addition's opposite is subtracting something, and multiply, which is adding. Opposite is divide, which is subtracting.
Yes, what's his fancy best friend. All right, very good. You may now go off to see your ice cream and talk about how you're going to divide that with your sister.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.